Here in the southern city of Kaohsiung lies Taiwan's biggest harbor. More than 9 million shipping containers pass through here every year, making it a vital economic hub for both Taiwan and Asia as a whole. That's why many countries in the region are concerned about the growing number of Chinese warships operating around Taiwan. Their presence is seen as China threatening to invade Taiwan, which it claims as its own. But many analysts now say that China is more likely to use other means to take the country under its control.
By and large, the most likely scenario is what we described as a highly kinetic blockade, and that's where China starts that blockade with an opening salvo of missile strikes against assets in Taiwan.
That would entail China stopping all merchant ships from coming and going from the island, essentially squeezing Taiwan's resources and economy. A report by the China Power Project says a maritime blockade of Taiwan is more feasible for China than a full-scale invasion because it would be the least coercive way to achieve its goals. The report predicts Taiwan would only be able to survive a blockade for 3 months. But even if Taiwan was able to hold out for longer, the economic effects of a blockade would be devastating for the rest of the world.
And we'll just assume it was 40% successful. So we're not talking 100%, 40% successful. That would be cost 2.8 trillion on the global economy, and that's the equivalent of about 2.8% of global GDP.
That means a successful blockade would cost the world around $7 trillion, nearly 4 times what was lost during the 2008 financial crisis. The Institute of Economics and Peace estimates that a maritime blockade of Taiwan would shrink China's economy by 7%, while Taiwan's economy would plummet by almost 40%. And given the strength of Taiwan's semiconductor industry, which supplies more than 90% of the world's most advanced chips, analysts say that any move that disrupts the tech supply chain would likely prompt the US and other countries to respond.
I think the important thing is awareness needs to be raised so that everyone's really clear on just what the consequences of a blockade would be.
And that's leading Taiwan's military to increase its combat readiness. Port cities like Kaohsiung are crucial for Taiwan's economy because the island nation relies heavily on imports to sustain its economy. And that's why the military is doubling down and deploying some of the country's most advanced systems to protect these areas. Defending key infrastructure is becoming a top priority for the military, which is conducting several coastal defense drills near ports and major cities. It's also deploying more anti-ship missiles around the country with the goal of using this kind of precision-guided ammunition to defend against enemy warships.
精准的投射能力以及快速的机动能力，正好符合我海军水面作战机动速决、集中火力的作战原则，有效的将敌人牵起于海上。
While there are no signs of any imminent military action from China, much of the world is hoping that Taiwan's defense is strong enough to deter Beijing, since any disruption of trade here could see an unprecedented impact on the world's economy. Howard Zhang, Andy Xue, Scott Huang, and Jaime Ocon for TaiwanPlus.